Yes. Now, let's go to division. Division in number-based system is nothing different from division in base 10. The only difference is you are working in base 6 or in a different base other than base 10, which you are not used to. Now, in solving division, division is somehow, I will not call it complicated, but somehow difficult or trickish to those who are not conversant with the multiplication table in other bases. When you are asked to divide in other bases other than base 10, you must be conversant with the multiplication table of that particular base. For example, example 1 says we should simplify 302 base 6 divide by 5 base 6. To divide 302 base 6 by 5 in base 6, knowing the multiplication table of 5 in base 6 is necessary. That is, 5 times 1 is 5, and 5 is a digit in base 5, in base 6. 5 times 2 is 10 in base 10, but 10 is not a digit in base 6. So 5 times 2 in base 6 is said to be 1 remainder 4, which is 14. And 5 times 3 in base 6 is said to be 23. That is, 5 times 3 is 15. 15 divided by 6 is said to be 2 remainder 3. So you need to know this up to whichever number that is necessary or required of you. So if I'm to do this by direct division, like the way we do in base 10, this is going to be 302 divided by 5 in base 6. Now, how do I divide this? You have to convert each of these to base 10, do the division, and write it up there. That is to say, 5 into 3, it cannot, because 5 is greater than 3. So, I'll bring the next digit, which is 0, it becomes 30. 30 divided by 5 in base 6. Now, what is 30 in base 6? 10. So, I have to convert it to base 10, do the division before I go ahead. So, 30 in base 6 is said to be 16. That is 3 times 6 plus 0, which is 3 times 6 is 18 plus 0. So 18 divided by 5 will go how many times? Is 3 times. So this becomes 3. While 3 times 5 is said to be 18. 3 times 5 is 15. But 15 is not a digit in base 6. So I'm going to divide 15 by 6. And 15 divided by 6 is said to be 2 remainder 3. That is 23 in base 6. Do the subtraction. 0 minus 3, it cannot. You borrow 1 from 3. This becomes 2. Remember, what you are borrowing is said to be equivalent to the base. So when you borrow 1 from 3, you have 2 remainder. You have 2. The one you borrowed is equivalent to the base, which is in base 6. So this becomes 6 plus 0, which is 6. 6 minus 3 is now said to be 3. 2 minus 2 is 0. Then you bring down 2. Do the same division. 5 into 32 in base 6. Convert both of them to base 10. Do the division. And then you have your multiple. 32 in base 6 is equivalent to 20 in base 5. In base 10. How did I get that? 3 times 6 is 18 plus 2 is 20. Now, 20 divided by 5 is 4. So this becomes 4. 4 times 5 is 20 in base 10. Convert it back to base 6. It gives you 32. So this is 32. And when you do the subtraction, it becomes what? 0. So that 302 base 6 divided by 5 in base 6 is said to be 34 or 34 in base 6. Now, this I'll call the first method. We have another method which seems to be more easier than what I just did. But this is how long division is done in other bases other than in base 10. Now, method 2 is that we are going to convert 302 base 6 and 5 base 6, convert both numbers to base 10, do your division in base 10, and then convert it back to base 6. I think that seems to be the easiest. And for now, unless otherwise stated, I would advise and recommend that whenever you are solving division in number-based system and you are not asked to use method 1 or method 2, you are just given the free hand to select which of the methods to use. The method 2, which we are going to do now, seems to be better and easier. That is 302 base 6 divided by 5 in base 6. I said we are going to convert each of them using the expanded method to base 10, do the division in base 10, and then convert them back to base 6. So how do we convert 302 base 6 to base 10? Using the expanded method, this becomes 3 times 6 raised to power 2 plus 0 times 6 raised to power 1 plus 2 times 6 raised to power 0. This is equivalent to 3 times 6 squared is 36 plus 0 times 6 plus 2 times 1, because 6 raised to power 0 is said to be 1. This is equal to 36 times 3. 3 times 6 is 18, remainder 1. 3 times 9, 3 times 3 is 9 plus 1 is 10. So 36 times 3 is 108 plus 0 times 6 is 0 plus 2 times 1 is 2. So this is equal to 110 in base 10. I have converted this to base 10. I will do same to 5. 5 in base 6 is equivalent to 5 times 6 raised to power 0, which is same thing as 5 times 1, which is same thing as 5. So I have converted 5 base 6 to base 10, which is same 5. So that 302 base 6 divided by 5 base 6 can be said to be equivalent to 110 divided by 5 in base 10. Do your division in base 10 and convert your answer back to base 6. 5 into itself is 1. 5 into 11 is 2, remainder 1. 5 into 10 is 2. So 302 base 6 divided by 5 in base 6 is equivalent to 22 in base 10. Now you convert this from base 10 to base 6. That is 22 base 10 is equal to x in base 6. How do we do that? We use a long division method by dividing 22 repeatedly by 6. So 6 into 22 is what? Is 3, remainder 4, because 6 times 3 is said to be 18. 22 minus 18 is 4. So we have 4 as a remainder. Why 6 into 3 is said to be 0, remainder 3, because 6 is greater than 3. So that 22 base 10 is equal to or equivalent to 34 in base 6. This is our answer. And if you remember, this is the same answer I got in question 1, where we were asked to divide, where I used the long division method. So any of the method that is suitable for you, you use. The method 1 seems to be shorter and maybe faster, but the method 2 is convenient for anybody. So I'll be solving more exercises using method 1 and method 2, so that as you follow along, you perfect in method 1.